We'll get this joint started, man. So it's gonna be Donnie coming to you from Masao, Japan. Back in effect, full from just got back from Atlanta the other day. Actually, kind of feeling jet lag a little bit, man. That you're getting older and shit. You know what I mean? And before I didn't really feel a jet lag, but I just woke up at like 9 Japan time, and it felt like you wake up in the middle of the night. That's kind of what it feels like and stuff like that. But anyway, we got the guy Lex here back in the saddle. We had Mike Powell on last time, so if you guys didn't check that out, go and check that out. This was actually supposed to be this is 111. This was supposed to be with Alan Newsom, but I was trying to do something kind of like hillbilly with my wireless mic, and they didn't like that I wired into it. So we essentially shot a 30-minute podcast. We only got video, no audio. Yeah, definitely. With that's the first time this happened. So I'm like, and then we had the last joint with Mike. So I definitely be kind of doing a renegade style because my gear is pretty good and everything. So I don't have any secondary recorders, but that's definitely Bush League shit. You know what I mean? You better for sure the Joe Rogans and all those guys, they got backups to the backups. Because that would suck to lose. And if they have one audio too, you've probably seen that a few times, right? Where it'll be like like what it actually happened to who was it? Schultz and them. Then it was like they had the first 25 minutes and the rest of it was just a screenshot audio because I guess the video feed had dropped out, but you still, whatever, live and learn. Got to get that shit in there, man. So if I would have had the backup recorder, I would have had the external audio that I could mix to the, it is what it is, live and learn. But it is, man. But what's been up with you, man? Yeah,
man. Did a track day, had a humongous It's wild hot right now, and I'm sitting right under an AC vent.
Good. Yeah, let's get right into that, man, because like that, I woke up to that video, so it's like, it's weird because we doing shit on opposite things. So like you'll wake up to some shit I'm doing, or I wake up to some shit you doing, and I seen it. I was like, fuck, man, and I seen it, and it was good. It was good editing, man, because it's like you could have just showed the thing, and you kind of kept mixing it up, and it's like building that suspense. I was like, man, did he side swipe? Did he T-bone? Because that dude, what the fuck was up with that guy?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. It looked like he just was like he just like, man, fuck this laptop. I'm gonna turn into traffic, or he just was like ready to end it. Like it was like.
Hey, what was that clip from Family Guy? Yeah. I'm gonna turn left right now. Good luck, everybody. And then just fucking go.
Yeah, dude.
But no,
so I
don't know what happened. I asked him what happened at the track. He said he got scared. I don't know scared of what, but some friends invited me to a birthday party track day. I get there, it's hosted by my other homies, and they're like, "Yeah, drive with us." Then I'm like, I would, but I got invited by these guys, and I want to be rude, so let me go show up, park with them for a second, and at least get the first session out with them. That was the first session.
Wow. Yeah, man. So damn, the first session out, like end of the day, that quick, man. So that was essentially a warm up lap right there when it happened.
No, that was the fourth lap.
Okay,
in.
Gotcha.
So, novice drivers.
It was a BMW,
novice drivers.
Right?
Yeah, it was a pretty clean E46 M3. Yeah. Nice choice parts. On some TE37s. Real wide tires. Real sticky joints too. So it just came to a difference in his use of equipment. Just kind of leading up to that, I was on a fast lap going around. The sound decibel limit was way low, so I didn't want to get flagged like I did last time. So I was just pulling full track left and just shifted in a high gear going up past the sound station at low RPM. Right. Then I'd pop back over going up turn 6 and then get back active. So, kind of going through the rest of the course, going into turn 4 before leading to my slowdown portion, I saw him up a ways, and I don't know, it's just you kind of stay aware of who's in front and who you fast. So I saw him up there, and I didn't think I was going to pass him that lap or get to him that lap. We go past 5, go past the sound station, go up 6, I get back on it. By the time I got to the corkscrew, he was right there. So I don't know I don't know what was going on. He was going really slow. Now I did notice that there weren't any track workers waving a blue. So
which is blue what's the caution flag for blue?
Blue flag tells the driver in front of a fast driver there's a fast driver approaching.
Got you.
You get aware, give way, whatever the case. So I didn't see any blue flags wave, but wasn't a big deal. As I'm coming down the corkscrew, dude's right there, about 12 cars out. He goes into 10. And as he goes into 10, he kind of blew the apex. He was about 3 feet off the apex, and he was turning tight track right. So I said, oh, okay. He's getting out the way for me. And, you know, when you look at the video, as I'm recalling all of the shit that went on, when you look at the video, that shit happened. Yeah, like it happened like that. But these are the things that I was thinking as I'm approaching this driver, because you got to run scenarios in your head. I'm coming in through turn 10, and I'm looking through his window to try to look at him, to try to see him, see if he sees me in the mirrors and everything. But he turned tight track right. So I was carrying speed. At this point, we're probably going about 70. I'm going 75 miles an hour going through turn 10. And as he's going right, I figure I'm going to go way left. And I'm looking, as I'm going left, I'm trying to look at his driver's side window and see if he's going to give me the point. But as I went to look through his window, I noticed his rear tire started to spin up. His rear tire spin up, his car pitches full track right. And I'm like, sim racing. He going to go that way, I'm going to continue on this way. But man, I saw him stab the brakes, and when he stabbed the brakes, that car turned left so quickly, and it went full track right, and it came across, and then it was like the moment that all sitcoms and everything is like ding, it's like freeze frame. It's like choice A. Do I dive right to go inside and go off track infield, and will I make it? And I'm judging it. I'm judging how fast I'm going. I was going 78 at that time because I zoomed in on the speedo. I'm going 78 at that time, and I'm like, nah, that's going to be a bad decision. If his car comes to a dead slide stop, he's middle of the track, I'm going to hit him, tear my whole front end up. So I can't abort that. Then I'm like, can I slam on the brakes and come to a stop? Then I'm like, I didn't check my mirrors. I just passed the S2000. I don't know where he was at. That was a thought. The second thought was, I'm going 70 plus. I don't think that I can stop in like 12 to 18 feet. You know, I'm like, it's going to be a T-bone. I'm going to tear the front end up. So my two concerns on those were just tearing my front end up. Like, that's out the window. So I just say, fuck this, full steer and floor it. Steer full track left. He's coming left with me. The car comes left. I jam left. And like I said, I floored it. His car barely misses my front wheels, which would have destroyed the control arm and the frame. Just missed the front wheels. It actually skimmed the tire. There's a skim mark on the tire from his tow hitch. Got into the front fender, and then it cuts into the door and guts my car open like a can opener. So RX-8s, a lot of people, I didn't know, a lot of people didn't know this. RX-8s don't have a B pillar. The door suicide, right? Nothing's there. So what happened, since there's no B pillar there and his car is slicing open my car, by that time it wasn't just the tow hitch. His whole bumper shifted, and then the frame rails burst through the bumper and then caught the door as well. So there were 2 points that were latched into the side of the car, digging down the side as it's going forward. So it pulled the door. It basically stretched the hinges, so it's like a 1.5 inch gap. fender to the door, stretched the hinges, got into the back door, ripped that open too. And so at that point, it's just like, boom, the impact hit me so hard, it lurched me off track. And quick hands, quick thinking, I'm like, I'm not going into a tire wall. So I stayed floored. The S2000 behind me, he just sees like the fucking biggest rooster tail of dirt, and I'm steering in hella quick. And as I looked left, I'm like, dude, I don't see nothing but dirt. So I look back forward, trying to get a bearing of where the wall is, and I kind of see where the wall's at. So then I steer back the other way to make the car go straight, and then I loop it back around, and I flipped it around. Then I noticed the car had stalled. I put it in second gear and bump started it, and I drove straight into the pits because it basically knocked me off straight into the pits. So I just drove straight into the pits, pulled in, and man, dudes were like, oh, what the fuck happened? And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I got cameras all around. I'm going to assess it in a second. But, man, when I hopped out and looked at that shit, dude, it was just like, and it was funny because I'm driving down pit, and I'm looking, I see daylight. I'm like, damn, it ripped the car open, man. And I was going to take the other RX-8, my street car R3, the wide body one, but I'm glad I didn't, because that would have that 1.5 2 inches wider that it is, that car would have caught the wheel, ripped the control arms shit out, and it would have ripped the body apart. So because I had the stock with the car, it just got into the door. So I just got to replace 2 doors, and man, my day got cut super short. But my other homeboys that were running the track event was like, damn, dog, you want to drive with novice drivers again, will you? Like, track dude jokes. I'm like, fuck, yeah.
One of Alan, we were driving to the track we were driving to the track while watching that, or while because he was driving the truck. We was heading to Atlanta Motorsport Park and everything. He was like, damn, and everything, and he was like asking about the insurance, and it's different for track. So I know from every track I've been to, you sign a release. So is that kind of like it's kind of like everybody knows, like, hey man, whatever happens out there, you know what I mean? It's someone.
So you sign a release. Haggerty does offer track insurance.
Okay.
But you never.
Yeah, that's what he meant. That's what he said. Haggerty was what he mentioned as well.
You never think that's gonna be your day, how your day goes. So a lot of us, except for the high dollar dudes, all of my high dollar homies that track their McLarens and Ferraris, everything, $65 a day, whatever, right? But I was kind of just like, I never thought about that. I never thought of that happening. Typically, I'd be like, I'm the insurance, right?
Yeah.
But I never ran into an incident like that before, where no talent that I have could evade the situation. There's nothing that could evade it. So, we're dealing with my reaction times to it, the decisions that I chose to drive out of it or away from it, all of that happening at 75 miles per hour in a 50-foot range is pretty gnarly. So things happen so fucking fast. Then you be like, damn. So I'm talking to a lot of people. They're like, make that motherfucker pay for it, this and that, and I'm just like,
it was flip. It would be. I mean, it's kind of, nah, dude. That's that's what I was kind of getting at with.
You think like me, you think like me.
I mean, that's at the track,
the
man.
Dude came over shaking. He was tripping, like, oh my god, oh bro, I'm so sorry. And so, I just put my hand on his shoulder. It was like, it's a racing incident, man.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, man. Like, I mean, like now, like if a dude like straight up, I mean,
did it on purpose.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, like some.
Then we gonna have hands.
Yeah, like some
fisticuffs.
Quentin Tarantino movie chase scene type shit. Like you passed him, then he purposely, you can see he goes like away and then rams into you. Then that's different. And that's like, even F1 cats and NASCAR cats do that to each other, but their backing comes from, so they'll get a slap on the wrist, maybe a fine, but it's neither one of their cars, personal cars, you know what I'm saying? So
right,
they're just at that point they're just damaging the school equipment and shit. So it's like but But anyway, man, before I get too far, man, because I want to definitely mix these in. The crash happened and everything. You had a helmet on, you had gloves on, you had harnesses on, so all that stuff kept you safe. So of course, I'm gonna plug right here is my brand new helmet that I was rocking in the last video. This is the one of the brand new British Moto, the S snow rated SE 2020. Awesome helmet I used down there. Had the little tinted visor and everything. The smooth. It's like a mate finish. So they're really good and everything. Got a lot of ventilation, so I actually used it. It was pretty hot out there and it's dry inside. I don't have a helmet cooler, but it has good ventilation and circulation. Also got the good gloves. Make sure you got the gloves out there to grip that steering wheel because, like I said, if Lex's hands were all slimy and slippery, he won't be able to control the car and shit like that. So gloves are important. I know a lot of Australian cats don't wear them and everything. They raw dug, but you got to get used to wearing gloves because you rock up to an event. And events like, hey, you put on these gloves. I've seen guys not drift good because they're not used to that extra grip.
They're gloves,
right?
Yeah,
wearing gloves, and I've seen that's weird. Then you'll have to wear like some cotton gloves, which if you got a wheel that's not conducive to that, then that shit can be slipping out your hand. But they make you do that. And also, this is a new line that came out, the British Moto mechanics gloves and everything. So your standard mechanics gloves that you would get from like AutoZone Advance or whatever. Like I was just there in the States, so first time in an AutoZone Advance at O'Reilly's in like 14 years. But anyway, like again, these are for like dry shit. So if you buy these, don't use these when you're doing the diff or some other slimy, oily, greasy shit because you'll essentially ruin the gloves. They're for picking up tires and picking up relatively clean, quote unquote, because ain't none of this shit clean. But you know what I'm saying? It ain't slimy, dirty, wet and stuff like that. So these did good. Kept the hands protected and everything like this. So make sure the safety gear is good to go, and that's going to be the plug for the day. And then also the guys that were at the event in Atlanta, I gave it a bunch of these as a promotional. These are the Pinku style Pinku Yenis or whatever. So you can get these on the website. They're like $10.50 shipped to the States. Everybody else you gotta check for the rates and everything because shipping is crazy, man. So yeah, man, that's that on that and everything, man. But yeah, dude, I seen it. I was like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? I just, you know what I mean? I was like, man, I know he's crafty enough to get out the way of that shit. And like, just like I thought, man, like I seen an after picture when I clicked on your page. And then I seen like, again, a long, like you said, a long streak of can opener shit down the side, metal ripped open and shit. So it looked like those joints on the highway you see when people run into the side of the truck wheels, and that those lug nuts rip that shit like. Yeah, it looked like that.
That's exactly what it looks like, actually. Yeah. Yeah. And dude was shaking, bro, and I'm just telling him, hey, it's a track incident, man. And like literally, like my hands on his shoulder, I could feel his heartbeat. Yeah. And I told him, bruh, and it was just like, relax, nigga. It's like, I'm all right, you all right. And like I told everybody in the video, that's why cars that I go really hard in, I've got bucket seats, cage, because you never know.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Hard and you're in that aggressive state of mind, you may make an aggressive decision that might end up in this way.
Yeah.
So you might as well be protected from your aggressions, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Oh, dude, is there anything I could do?" But it's just like, blood, nah, man.
Fix your car and come back, man.
Yeah, and we'll be back out there. It's just
because both cars are not totaled, so that's the cool part. Yeah, so his car, what he had like some, he hit
his
front end or rear? Did he hit contact?
Yeah, his front end. As my car was going by and he's spinning, everything pulled over this way. So frame rails, all of his stuff.
So it's shit. Oh, it might be.
It's gnarly.
Yeah.
It can be fixed. Good thing this was a gutted 2,600-pound little car with no structural B pillar, because then it would have really folded in it. But just catching that and getting the resistance.
Well, shit, man.
Over
you better tell.
It was best case scenario of worst case scenario.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. And the guy, he's a middle-aged young guy or
younger age dude. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Then you might. Hey man, if you're looking for E46 drift car, man, you might want to contact a guy because some people might not. They don't. I don't know his. I don't know his will and stuff like that. But some people quit for less. So he might want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was why I told him. I said, nah, we're going to get both our cars back together.
Yeah.
Because he messaged me.
Okay.
And he was like, I guess part of that shakingness, he was like, he said, "Dude, I thought you were gonna give me hands."
Yeah.
And it was like, because I instantly, like, I'm so used to driving trucks and with the railroad, the first thing that they do when officials come in a railroad accident or with the trucks, they come plug up to the event recorder and pull the data.
Right.
So I had all the cameras going. The first thing I did was start pulling all my GoPro footage onto the phone. Not like anything is a big deal, but I was just like, well, I'll have it so I can review it and see if what I was thinking was what happened and everything. So then I was like, hey, you want to see it? And I don't know if,
it's like you want to see. That's like, hey man, you want to see a dead body, man? Like, is it?
Yeah. So I don't know what him and all his homies' mood were, because they were all trying to help him pull some shit straight or whatever. I don't know, maybe salvage the day, because he drove the car.
He drove home?
I told him that's why I don't drive cars to the track that I'm going hard in, and so I showed them the footage and they all gathered around there looking, and then it was just like, damn. And then they really came to the realization, like, damn, cuz you really fucked up, And then they were looking at me even more like, damn, you ain't tripping? I'm like, what is there to trip off of, bro? We do this shit at leisure.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Being able to nowadays take off work, go to Laguna Seca, which is a world-class track that costs a lot of money to race at, race, have a capable car. Like, all of these things are like
leisure. Like you said, it's not like nobody forced you or him to be there and like, hey man, you gotta run,
Yeah. It's just like we've got a additional thing that other people don't have that we get to do. So yeah, this sucks, but
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, now he definitely could have. He ran into a chill, understanding person that has skin in the game. Now he could have crashed into some pretentious fucking jerk dude, and it kind of could have been a different, So it depends. He made it was a mistake. It's a driving mistake, man. We all made it, and it's like, as big as this fucking world is, we happen to be in that same space in the same time.
In the same space, and he gets to take this one as a lesson,
right?
Because he did say, "I want to drive better. I want to drive with you. You're really fast." He said, "I looked at," and this is how I knew. I knew this is what he was doing, but when he confirmed it, he said, "I looked in my mirrors. You weren't there. I looked in my mirrors. You were there. I looked in my mirrors. You were hella close. I looked in my mirrors again, and I panicked." And it was just, he was like, that was only my second track day at Laguna Seca. I want to get better. So I'm like, good. That's what I want to hear. You're going to do better. This don't put a bad taste in your mouth that I just yelled at you or tried to fucking beat you up like whatever else could. Some of the other drivers walking over in racing suits and shit, they're looking at the car, they're like, damn. And I already know, like, everybody thinks probably one thing. I just hand them the phone. They're like, oh, you got the footage? I'm like, yep. So while I'm strapping the car down, they're looking, because you don't know what they think, who caused it.
Right.
This totally destroyed car with a black dude strapping it down, and then a couple of track prepared cars over here that looks like the guys do a lot of track days. Who knows what happened? But when I get to show them, then, and it's like I said, it's the response. You can hear what they thought from their responses.
Right.
Jade, you had nowhere to go. That wasn't your fault. And then it's kind of like, I could tell by what you thought, by what your response is.
Yeah. Like, you already assumed it was like, yeah. Yeah,
and so they're like, oh my God, man, dude, I'm so sorry. But it's just like, it turned out good, because then my boy Joe, he's like, hey dog, you're not, because he knows me, I'm loading up 2 fingers. I'm to the house to go do something else, because this is ruined. So let me go back home, chill with the family, go ride motorcycles or something, right?
Yeah. It's like, okay, the part 1 of the day is done. Yeah, like some dudes on that shit, man. They go home, and that's the difference, man, between us and and everybody like us, man. It's like, and even, I got a story for the Atlanta Motorsport Park deal, and that kind of went. Yeah, we'll get into that, man. But I want to talk stay on this for now. But yeah, man, it's like shit happens, man. It's like, okay, like, in your mind, you already know, like, all right, you probably knowing you, man, the doors and shit's already on order, correct?
Yeah, dude, I found
like,
so many doors,
yeah.
and it's funny because I haven't. It's been a week now. It's been a week for today, and I haven't gone and grabbed any individual pair of doors that I found.
Yeah.
But I found doors, and it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
Like it's hot as shit right now, so I'm not about to work in the sun.
Mm.
But I had like my homeboy Lamar. He's in Tracy area. But there was a white RX-8 in Stockton. I called him up and said, "Hey, could you go by there or send somebody by there to check it out?" He's like, "I'll go do it myself." Like, thanks to him for going. And he was like, "It's a dent. It was about a hand-sized dent in the door." And he's like, "No, I don't want you to have no dented doors on your car." I'm like, word, I feel it. And then this other dude hit me, say, "Yo, I got a whole ass RX-8 that you can have. It doesn't have any running gear on it. I got to figure out how you can get it up on your trailer, but whole car, $500, come get it." I'm like, all right, cool. So there's options on the table,
right.
which is another reason why it's good to not trip off of shit in that way, because you could be blocking a blessing because of your bad vibes or bad energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because I had good energy about it and was like, well, whatever, like I'm gonna go do something else for the rest of the day. And I'll worry about this shit later. My homie was like, "Nah, dog, don't go home. We put you in purple group. So instead of me just being in that invited drive group, the private session, my homies in the organization put me in the top tier purple group wristband." So he's like, "Nope, you're gonna go out and drive in the purple session." So he gave me keys to MRS with this Lotus powered engine. Never drove them before, and he told me, he said, "Hey, dog, it likes to rotate, but you drift, you'll figure it out." I'm like, word.
Well, Dave, that's the only thing you can say that to somebody who got it. Like, if you're not, you're not going to get. Actually, dude, that's funny as shit that happened because all right, kind of moving on to the Atlanta Motorsport thing. Atlanta Motorsport. Actually, man, is there anything else that happened on that day, man? No, go ahead and finish that story, man. I don't want to.
No, he just was like, "Yo," it was funny. Fully trusted. He's like, "I've driven with you for years, drifting, gripping. You're surprising me with gripping. I know you got it. Go have fun." And I'm like, "All right, what does it do?" He's like, "It red lines at 8.5, 6-speed." Floor that shit and have fun. Man, I'm out there mobbing. I get into a battle with a S2000. The S2000 dude was sitting back watching me. The car, it really did like to rotate. So it's a couple times where it's drifting in corners, but you don't hear me lift throttle at all. I'm just fucking with the manic hands. And the S2000 dude saw I had so much control. He wasn't lifting through the sound. I was lifting through the sound. And so it got to a point where we were having a real big battle. Did
you get that on? You got that on video?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't lift through sound. I lifted through sound. So when we started to head up the hill, he had more speed. So by the end of the track, he was right on my ass. I come out of 11 and I'm flooring it. And he comes tight, and we're just like neck to neck going up the front straight into turn one. Turn one is like 100. Well, in his car it was about 117 mile an hour. Left-hand turn over crest. That's blind. You can't see the other side. We come up. I look. It's the nose of the S2000 VTEC blaring in my ear. We come over this crest side by side. As we crest, there's a GC8. Right there in the braking zone. We go nose to tail because he got by me. We go by that guy, and it was a dope ass battle. So like I got my fix out the way from those 6-7 laps. I said, I'm good. I can go home. I parked the car and I literally already had my car loaded. I snuck off and drove off like nobody saw me leave. My boy called me in the next session. "You motherfucker, you left." Say, "Yeah, dog, I'm to the house, B." I was like, I had my fill, dude. Like, we had a good time, and that was it. So, yeah, that was it. It was pretty cool. It was. I was excited to see because I think somebody tagged me. One of the homies that bought some of our merch had tagged me in a photo with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were out there. Touchdown, shaking hands.
Yeah, because the thing is, he had because I was at Allen's booth or whatever, and I was just chilling in the back. It got pretty toasty out there too.
Yeah,
clear skies and everything, and felt like Texas to me. Like it is different kind of heat, and so I was chilling back there drinking the water, like number 5. I'm not this bad, but I'm not like a water guy. But it's like your body's like, dude, you drank in a day, and we were just throwing them shits down, like and throwing that shit down. And the dude was, I thought he was just like looking for. It was a brother, 2 brothers from Florida, and I thought he was looking at the helmets and everything. And Alan's wife Rachel was like, "Hey, these guys looking at like want to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." So I go wrapped one. First thing I noticed is the Riot Squad shirt, and he had a Riot Squad lanyard, the key lanyard. He's like, "Yeah, man, I watch you and Lex and all that stuff." And like the dude's like, he's probably going to shout out to the guy, man. He was very, very cool and very chill, easy to talk to and everything, man. So we got all that stuff. Actually, let me check out give him a shout out real quick.
That's what I was about. That's what I was doing. We think the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull this shit
I think it was Clyde, or let me see, man. Let me see. I think it was I'm bad with the usernames and everything.
Right. So yeah. Because see, I that's the cool thing about, I think, how we've got our shit laid out as far as Riot Squad and everything. We're very small. We do not, it's kind of like intimate. We don't promote much shit, but people that know how to find our shit.
Zachary, Zach, that's what it is.
Zach, okay.
Yeah,
people that know how to find our shit.
Yeah.
That find it, we know they fuck with us, and we remember their name, because he popped up in I think I was doing an IG live one day, and he's like, and I said, he's like, oh yeah, this and that.
My bad, it's gonna be his IG is at Slide or Die.
Slide or Die.
Like
SLYD.
SLYD. Yeah, you'll put that in there and everything. It'll come up. I'll give him a shout out
there. And he was like, yeah, I bought your gear, and I'm like, hold up. You from Florida? He's like, yeah. I said, man, because he literally, my boy sent me the fulfillment, and I said, God damn, he bought almost every item.
Yeah.
Like backpack, shirt and shit. So I just was
he was repping fully out there, man.
I was like, my man.
Yeah.
And so pops up in the shit. I was like, yo, you bought it? Oh man, I fucks with you. So it's like, I really like that intimate thing. Instead of it being like a million people buying stuff, I get to kind of see their names, because we do our own processing and sending shit out. I get to see their names and where they're from, and then I remember that, and I thought that was pretty cool when he popped in and tagged, and I was like, oh, cool, he got the fans, and that's a cool connection.
Yeah, no doubt. And they would chill cats, and he posted on this thing. He was like, and it's, for me, it's like, it's weird because, he gave me my props, and this thing saying like, we chopped it up like we've been long-time friends. And I'm like, that's just keeping it. Like, again, man, that's just like, again, when we meet up in person, just like, this is a second time in Alan meeting and stuff and everything. I'm at his place. Yeah. It's all normal, man. When you're real, man. And like, you ain't got to fake the funk. And people can see that shit. And we'll get into the LZ joint. People can see that, like, they can see your physical body language and also how you talk. If you got you got different motives, you know what I'm saying? Like that snake salesman guy, who's going to say what you want to say to get in your pants or do whatever you got to do if you're a chick. You know what I mean? If you're a dude or whatever, there's some chicks out there too like that and everything. So, no, man, he was a chill guy, and he was like, that was like one of like maybe 5 or 6 guys I talked to throughout the day. Sebastian Souza hooked up. We met and everything, and it was, Sebastian drives wild and stuff out there. He was just chilling, and I was kind of in the vibe, because the vibe was we'll get into the event, man, like a little later, man. But before we get there, I want to ARC-8, I'm gonna put all that stuff down in there. There's a Discovery show, man. Is there any more information on that, the air dates, and because we touched on it, but I just want to why we still in the early parts of the podcast, man. Like, what's the Discovery
channel? The series is launching and premieres, goes live on the 19th. So next week.
Oh shit! So I got it. So is there a pre? You said there was a way to pre
Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. So I'll definitely
Discovery Plus. You'll get it a couple days early. So we're gonna go launch it live. We start the series off. First episode, first driver.
You said July 19th.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yep. Right. So next week. It's going to be, man, very interesting. There was nothing like this on TV, man. And they can't even edit it like the way that this is going to be edited is the exciting part. Us as the drivers, we, a couple of us have been talking. We have no clue what this shit's going to look like. We only know what happened and what we did. There's
Yep.
nothing seen like this on television. It's super primal. The risk and everything is up there. The danger is up there. So I feel like it's and I don't want to battle it against
Hyperdrive.
Hyperdrive, right? I don't
Okay.
want to battle it against Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive was like the game show Ninja Warrior, not Ninja Warrior. Well, kind
Yeah,
of like
kind of. Yeah,
Ninja,
yeah. It was kind of
right?
Ninja Warrior balance and shit and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, this shit is like, and I'm only explaining what you guys, everybody's seen in the premiere. This shit was like, hey yo, here's some bread. You don't know what's out there, but you got to get away from somebody that's people that are trying to kill you, and they're gonna stop you at all costs. You make it to the end, you keep that bread I gave you.
Hmm. It
It's
looks real
your
quick.
ass.
My bad, man.
Yep.
For my guys, I don't want to not trying to be. I I got this is my second day of checking in, so I got to actually answer his email like right now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
pretty cool. I just like, no shit. Just press check in, so they got actually post COVID shit.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
the
this
cold
is day 2. So I
locked
got
in. Yeah,
I actually for that. Well, I didn't even tell guys. I'm actually
yeah.
I'm quarantining at my shop, so it's probably the coolest quarantine place because after this I'm gonna edit this up. I'm actually gonna get a little bit more sleep so I can kind of readjust to the what you come, and then I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do this shit called a quarantine drift car build and finish my shit up because I put
Yeah,
customer
you
shit on.
should just
Yeah, I put customer shit on hold because it's
document
like I
that.
can't really. Yeah, I'm a document. I can't really go and pick up stuff and everything. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so if I get a random call too, my bad. I gotta check that. But
Yeah, I know how it is because I actually caught COVID.
oh yeah, that's right.
CDC was calling me and all of the shit every day, checking up. Are you getting nutrients? Have you drinking water? Have you gone outside? Can you walk? You know what I mean? All of that shit. So, luckily for you, this is just a cautionary
Yeah,
quarantine
it's
that you
actually
can have.
that's quick. So that's it. So every day they ask you the same questions. Do you have or anybody else around you have 37? Well, over 37. I don't know, 37.5 Celsius, whatever it is in
Yep.
Fahrenheit, and then they ask you, are you sick? And then that's it. And then they call you for a face to face to make sure. Like I gotta click this thing that says I'm here, and
Yeah.
it's an app that says this shit's crazy, man. Like they're tracking where you're at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like I'm on a goddamn bracelet thing, man. So my bad. What was you saying, man?
You're on house arrest.
But
So yeah, they hand you the bread. You go into a never before seen environment. You don't know what's there. You don't know how to get through it. They just tell you people are after you. They're trying to take you down. There's gonna be a lot of physical violence.
mm,
It's up to you to keep your ass safe or not.
mm.
So like I said, there's nothing
Oh yeah, I
before
can't wait to see
on
this shit.
television that you guys have seen like this, and no matter what the outcome is, this shit is like legendary, and I'm super happy to have been the first driver out that you've seen. No matter what the outcome was, win or lose, win the whole thing, keep all the money. This shit was gnarly as
Mm.
fuck. It was gnarly as hell. You never, dude. And then again, we accidentally built ourselves for shit like that.
Mm.
You know, the stresses and all of the crazy shit. And like I said, I hope they edit it great. The stresses and all the crazy shit that I specifically dealt with to get out there and drive and be like ice cold about everything. There was something different that went on. It was a survival instinct in this environment. But you guys are gonna see some dope fucking TV, and I do plan on going live. And as soon as the shit's over with, to talk with everybody and just like shoot the shit. I've got a few vlogs, like 2 or 3 vlogs, edited from that environment there in Georgia that I had edited there in the hotel. And everything. So you get the raw emotion of everything, my initial thoughts that I didn't get time to think about and be PC about. This is these vlogs that are I'm probably gonna review them again. I have nothing I can change because they're already edited, uploaded, and there on YouTube. But yeah, I'm gonna put those live as soon as the show's over with. So it's gonna be pretty dope.
Cool. But hey, real quick, they do. I'm pretty sure you know this, but on YouTube they got the little editor, but that shit takes forever.
I ain't touching it.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things, man. Like I was watching. Actually, nobody told me this. I was watching a movie. It was I played trumpet in a band and everything, so it was a joint about an orchestra, and kind of hot chick in there or whatever. And the chick was the chick had, like, she was kind of being son. Son, for guys who don't know, she was kind of being carried. We call it carried in Baltimore, where somebody's kind of talking down to you or leading you on and shit. And the conductor was like, if you guys play instruments, there's cheers. So the first cheers like the dude. Then you kind of go on down the line and everything. And the first cheer has the more parts, more solos and shit like that, right? More opportunities to become like the next Mozart or whatever the fuck. And she was like, she was getting tired of being sunned and shit or carried, and she went off on the dude. And the dude was actually standing right off to. She didn't know he was standing. She didn't know he was standing like right off to the side, and he listened to everything she said. She was like, pretty much like, fuck this, fuck him, blah, 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 this, and this. And then he walked up, and she like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was like, nah, don't. He's like, don't take back, like, whatever you do, don't take back bold actions, because it makes you, and that was a fucking TV show. So whoever wrote that line is a G, number one. And that's why I don't do that. Apologizing is one thing. Like, if you go out of line and do some shit, but like I tell the customer, I always talk about the customer stuff sometimes, but it's like, hey man, when I send an email out or I call you, when we see person in person, I'm not apologizing at all for anything. I'm clarifying what I said. So I'm not taking nothing back, because if you take something back like that, it makes your feelings are not, it's like, nah, it is what it is and stuff like that. And that's why people say think about shit before you say it, or whatever. But in a moment, that's what you felt. So I mean, it was real.
And I think that's why the initial reality shows are so polarizing.
Yeah.
Because before the shit got scripted, no time to think, just react. If you have that embarrassment, there's a big fucking camera right there looking at you. Yeah, it just multiplied that embarrassment.
The camera like, come on, man, give me that shit.
Yeah, it just multiplied that initial embarrassment, because you're like, motherfuckers is watching me too, and then you fire off on them. But now all the reality shows are so scripted. Yeah, you're just watching them overact things that they were told.
Man. They be like, hey man, like reality show's supposed to be live, you know what I'm saying? But later, like,
yes,
I feel like, the ones I've seen, I don't watch them, but you see the clips and it's like they'll cut that shit and say like, let's shoot that again, or like do that like that. Now you're acting like that's not, nah man. So for me, reality shows, I used to watch Road Rules and shit back in the day, man.
Yeah,
like that was, and like Seattle was like Seattle was when I kind of got into cars. And I was like, I don't have time to sit there and watch MTV all day. And Seattle was like, what? That was like late 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to be.
That was what the dude Tech was on there. The crazy dude, Tech. And he became like, he became a bigger personality than the show and shit.
Yeah. So just a tidbit for y'all for this television show, The Getaway. It is supposed to be a reality show. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. There's nothing scripted.
Okay.
We'll get into
I'm fucking that,
after
I'm mad, man. I want to see.
We'll get into some finer things after the shows.
Yeah. We'll definitely chop it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not changing my vlogs that I've put up, because there's something that happened, and what I said I stood on, and if that's kept in there, y'all are gonna be like, because it's, this shit wasn't for entertainment. This shit was real.
Well, the shit too, man. Like, that's gonna, again, we talk about social media almost every podcast in some way, form, and shape, because it's part of life, no matter what you want to say about it. And it's like they're gonna go a different way about it too, because they know these people, like, back in the day, like I mentioned this Seattle. I don't remember anybody from that thing but Tech.
Nobody but Tech, yeah.
Because Tech was this wild. And I remember the other white dude was always crying and shit, man. He looked like a macho dude, but he was like black, David or some shit. But he was like fucking every other week. It was a different girl he was latched onto and shit. Then the other dude was like cool or whatever the fuck. But it's like that was before MySpace. That was before any of that stuff. So now everybody on that show has an account. So everybody on that show is going to have a different, a different thing. So they got to be careful. Production has to be careful on how they moving because, you know what I mean, I guess the climate of the people that was on the show, because they're going to say, you already said what you said. Your shit's waiting to hit public. So that climate of that is going to determine what's going to happen. Like, for example, we just mentioned Hyperdrive too. And I haven't I know at the end it was like you want to be in there, and I did. I was like, I submitted the email, but that was it. I don't know if there's going to be another one. Maybe they didn't do as well as they thought it did. Maybe I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe they're going a different way. So, it is what it is on that. We'll see. But
I'm sure they're going to do something. I just think COVID was such a hold
up.
Oh, yeah,
actually, that's true.
I mean, it changed so much. Yeah. People working with certain production companies don't work with those production companies anymore. Yeah. Certain that were made. Like, think about it. Top Gun was shot and filmed and done before COVID really hit. Top Gun was supposed to be let out last summer. Top Gun got held. They're still sitting on it. They still haven't announced
that's that it's ready. That's a lot of money, man.
Almost all of Tom Cruise movies are sitting waiting because he wants to fully confirm that everybody can go watch his shit and enjoy it as because he's one of those savant types about he wants it to be enjoyed the way it was intended.
Right. Yeah, timing is definitely important. That's with the Last Dance joint. That was good timing for Jordan because that thing apparently was done for a while.
Yeah.
That was done for a little bit, and it's like he almost waited. It's like
till everybody was sitting at the house with nothing to do.
He couldn't predict COVID, but I think he's probably waiting for Netflix stock to go up a little bit more or something to happen to be like, nah, man, let me. Because the people always talking about LeBron, whatever, blah blah blah, and he's probably waiting for the dude to win another championship or something to be like, drop this shit right now, educate these motherfuckers. That dude he's calculated, man. You know what I mean?
And I was gonna say he is very petty like that.
Yeah,
too.
he is. Very. I mean, you can see it in it. He didn't hide that shit. He was like,
no,
and he's like, and that. With that one shit like, and that offended me or some shit like that.
Yup. Jordan, you're wearing the all black J's. I like the breads better with the red bottoms. That's offensive. I'm gonna go murder this fucking team.
Yeah.
You don't like that these shoes wearing.
That dude was like, he made. But I mean, hey man, that shit worked for him. He made, and everybody does that to a point. He was just like. He was overboard with it, but I mean that worked for him. It made Jordan what he was and everything. I got my other reason. I mean, I respect the dude, man, but it was some other stuff that came out about him, and I mean, it is what it is. How he treats people, whatever, man. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The chameleon go over there. Yo, Jordan, what's up, man?
That was actually one.
I don't take pictures with niggas.
Yeah, and that wasn't. And people and the chameleon there had no reason to even like lie about some shit like that. He's a pretty chill. He's one of the. I mean, I mean, he just looked like he was one of the most positive energy type of dudes, if you want to say in a hip hop thing. Kind of didn't really fit that mold of being a hip hop dude. Kind of and so I don't. He has no reason to lie about some shit like that.
Bow Wow's friends with Michael Jordan's with Jeffrey Jordan, and Bow said he used to stay over at their house, and he's his favorite basketball player is Allen Iverson because
small.
He said he was staying over at the house. Jordan walked in, saw that boy wearing Iverson, straight pulled his shoes off his feet and threw them shits away.
Said,
go get Jordans. Like. I can buy Jordans. I have Jordans, but Iverson's is my shit.
No shit.
Like, not here.
Yeah.
I'm like, not in this house. I was like, I love that shit. Yeah, it's just petty enough to be like, this man's a psycho. You know?
Man. He's real, man. But yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I definitely want to stay on that too much because I know you got disclosure stuff and all that stuff like that. And I mean,
yeah, but we're a week out from being able to watch it and then fully talk about it.
Got it. I already got my shit set. I'm going to get Discovery Plus as soon as we get off of here. And pretty much I'm gonna cancel it right after I watch it. But I just want to see it early.
Goddamn right.
So yeah, man, it's all good. So
definitely. So what happened with the car at
all right, AMP? All right, so AMP for the I got opened up and everything. Guys, I just got back from this is my first kind of real, because the last time I went to the States it was 2015-16 for license purposes, and I was covert and I left. I went to dinner with my brothers and mom and came back over here. So the A&P was my first time back. Like it was business and also connections, because I mean that's what I went there for, which is why when a car, which I'll get into, the S14, it just didn't work out. It wasn't like I was distraught, and Alan was like, he was surprised to see it, because he was like, I flew over there. He very great hospitality. I was in Georgia, Talking Rock, man. It was a chill. Like I liked the place so much, man. I was like, man, I want to buy, because I want to be there a bunch. I'm thinking about buying like a little spot out there, man. Like if it's, because they got some nice houses out there, man. So I don't know. Yeah, I might have a hit, because he's talking about buying a little joint over here in Wichita. So we're business partners, and we also really good friends, man. Solid guy, Alan Newsom, showed great hospitality out there. Him and his wife Rachel, and it was great, man. Great environment, great everything. We linked up with who was Scott from Scott of Grip Royal was there, owner of there. Team by Forest was there and everything. So he helps with various FD builds, round literals, setups and everything like that. We get into that. I'm making a check about that, the Ryan RB. So we'll talk about that for sure. But anyway, man. So I got there. I came there to work. I didn't come there to watch him. So I did the wiring, wired the engine up. He was taking care of some other stuff. So he had the Hachiroku, I had the S14, and it just he had just plucked the engine off of his shelf, changed the head gasket. But it was just, the engine, RB20. It was an early RB20. Shit's like 30 years old, and it just didn't have the pressure. And the turbo was also not in good shape. So when we got out there, I did one lap and I shut it down. I was like, I don't need to do it. I'm not trying to push this car. I mean, I could have pushed it, but I'm like, it's not broken, so why break it? And
right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, no, I parked it and I just start networking. We went out there on the track together, and then again, I didn't even I was like, dude, I'm not even asking to drive your Hachiroku, very clean car. Funny story in that shit was he's come over to his booth, and it was called Elite Tuners. It was like a car show, right? So the Puerto Rican dude, Puerto Ricans like Toyotas and all that stuff, right? And
they do, yeah.
And so the dude Alan was driving over there real quick to drop something off to his wife. And the dude was like, oh, the car show's over there. You can go over there. He was like, nah, I'm here to drift. He was like, the dude looked at him. I wish I had a camera, dude. And he was like, in this? And the dude was like, nah, man, you're not drifting this, are you? He's like, yeah, I'm going out on the track. He's like, nah, man, I'm just like, make sure you heard me. Like, you're going out on the track to drift this? And he was like, yeah, man. Clean car, clean Hachiroku. Had some the XR4, dude. And went out there and only Hachiroku there. The only car that was like close in power, there was a Miata there. But I mean, so that track, man, I'm pretty sure you seen LZ video yet?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
That the video don't do it justice on the elevation changes. And
I was just gonna say that elevation looks massive.
You see how when that second part when they go actually he put in his video, I noticed they put that was the first part of the drifting was actually the second section. The very first, the long one was the first section. So you hit that first.
The downhill?
No, downhill was the second part.
Okay.
So yeah, man, that's a. I mean, I was able to actually, when I drove his car out, because I didn't want to really get into it. I mean, I didn't want to damage the car, and it was also first time driving left and right in a while. So I, whatever, got used to it real quick. So I on the very last one, I didn't have cameras. I was like, man, all right, I'm going on the track. He threw me the keys and said, hey, man, go on it. He said, get your ass from the track, man. I was like, all right, cool, man. You ain't got to tell me twice. So I go out there, and I just, instead of like drifting at the bottom part, I just got a lot of speed and then almost got all the way around the carousel. So to carry a Hachiroku with a 3 SGE engine in it, almost all the way around, it was,
and that's stock knuckles too, right?
Stock everything, man. So. I mean, he and also Alan's learning to drift. He's just getting into it in his drift car. He's starting with his Hachiroku, so he's going a full manual way. So it was a cool event. I said, again, we had the car issues. That's not the last time I'll be there. I'm looking to send the car over and everything. But overall, man, it was just cool to link up with Scott, link up with all the guys that I talked to online. And then, again, like I told you, I called you up and said we linked up with I linked up with LZ. I spoke a little bit. And, with that dynamic, man, it was some people like, it's not like he's holding court, but it is, you know what I'm saying? because he has a good following. He has all the stuff in whatever he's doing. I just checked out the last video when I just up last night doing quarantine shit, and I seen the video, which was cool for him to do, showing them people who don't understand the money. And he did the video on the money and stuff, and I mean
about what it takes for him to.
And they think the money is endless. I'm like, bro, even with the dude that has cash, it's like you got to see where he has to sell this, sell that, do this, do that, make this deal, make that deal. Like, people don't understand, man. Like the cash, it creates bigger bills.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, unless he could have the money, sit on it, and just have one car and be cool. But that's not, it's not, and that's an investment. He's gonna get that thing's gonna be utilized. I think that money's gonna come back to him really quickly, man. From a business aspect of it, the content they can make. They bought the car, they bought the go-karts. It's gonna come back, man. So overall, the event was good. Drift HQ, the guys are very cool. That was the first event there public, and also if you've never been to AMP. I was like, what the fuck? This thing is like a country club, man. Like it's clean. They got individual garages for all the cars. Like I think over 40, 50 garages. They got a little executive suite. They got a swimming pool, basketball court. Like this ain't no regular track, man. Like this is money. And Alan was telling me the membership is $16K per year so it's members only. So everybody did drifters. Drifters is drifters, man. So I was joking with Alan, and I was saying, man, like, I know one of the guys who in the area was, hey, man, let me stop over there, and got one through the gate. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like all these drift cars and all this noise and all this shit. And they probably didn't know. And they probably was like, dude, no. The dude's like, nah, dude, there's an event going on here. This is drifting. So it was a cool event. Definitely looking forward to getting back there next year. And I'm going to send one of my cars over, or we'll get something that's more. Because I definitely could have slayed the whole track. It's not a hard track. The guys were saying sketchy. Be careful, because I think for America, most Americans never seen nothing like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So it was.
And I watched the Yamaha press release. They invited all the media out. They released the R7 there. That was the first time the R7 was going around that track. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool ass track.
Yeah.
It's really and everything like that. And it's really tight that there's a track and a facility like that in Atlanta that's not used too much. At least as of yet, at the moment. There's a place like that we have in Palm Springs. There's houses there. It's a gated community. If you own a house there, you get to use the track every morning between 8 to 12 p.m. for free. But yeah, it's a membership. It costs to live there. Not only does it cost your house, it costs that amount, I think like 10 or 16K for the membership there. And it's tight because the houses, all the garages are humongous with lifts in them. They're tall as shit. You could stack cars like seven cars tall in there if you had racks and shit. It's like pretty dope. So that's tight to see that a place there in Atlanta is like that as well.
Well, my bad. Like, so this place is about it's not in Atlanta. It's called it's about
outside.
Yeah. So it's about. I think it's about. So we drove about 45 minutes from Alan's place. I forgot the name of the town. It's like begins with a D, Darwin or something, Darwinville or something like that. And so I would say this is about maybe 35, 40 minutes more from like Atlanta.
Outskirts.
The outskirts and everything. So yeah, man, it was definitely cool. And then it was cool. I didn't know, like, you see familiar faces. And like I said, I mentioned, we were pitted next to the dudes from, I forgot the King's performance, something like that. So the guys had the RX-7, the one that was
the Puerto Rican dudes that rap.
Yeah, and that we spoke on them, man. And that's, that's cool as shit that he do stuff like that, man, because Brad could have went to anybody he wanted to got a car, but what he did, I'm Puerto Rican. Let me seek out the Puerto Ricans that are doing it big. He gets with those dudes. Then I was pitted right next to him, and I didn't realize that after the next day I was flying back, I seen the car and they thumbed me. I'm like, did he fucking this? I'm like, I know he didn't buy the RX-7 because the RX-7 was just next to me. So I know.
Yeah, and I told him that's gonna be $100,000, $200,000.
Yeah. So, but that's dope, man. That's dope to see what he's doing. And people say like, well, Puerto Ricans do. Like, bro, that's what you're supposed to do, man. Like, I mean, we don't do it as much as we should. Alan's like, Alan. That's why the thing with us was because he could have reached out to anybody, man. He hit me up and invited me to come to this event, and he could have been like, to somebody in the States or whatever, blah blah blah. But we already had a relationship going and stuff like that, and we was already talking about me coming over, so it was like prime time to to see what's up, and also for him, because I could talk all this shit, and even though we got a good relationship going, I could be bullshitting, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, all right, I bought a plane ticket. He's gonna get the car, so he bought a car. So that's why again I wasn't angry too, because not angry, but he was like, man, we talked offline, just me and him, and he was like, man, I was like kind of worried, he's like, I fly all the way over there and the car doesn't work. I'm like, dude, you housed me, you know what I'm saying? You bought a car, put an engine in it, did all this stuff. How the fuck am I getting mad, man? So if somebody who does get mad or salty like that creates like that, it creates that division, man.
And something that you may or may not have known that he's trying to work out. I just couldn't do it at such a short notice. When he called me, he was trying to fly me out there so we could all hang out.
Oh yeah.
Called me like Thursday night, wanted me to fly out Friday, and I'm like, I can't get anybody for my kids, but so we were like this close to all three of us being big hangs, out there. But well, maybe next time
we'll definitely do it, man. Because at that event, pretty much I'm sure, like I know, like they actually there was supposed to be 50 drivers, and they extended it to 72, so it was 20 more. So it was tight. It was tight in there, but then like I told Al, I'm like, man, all these cars ain't gonna make it to the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, it's drift cars. It was the very first lap. There was a G35 on the trail. I mean, I'm like the first lap. Yeah. So he was, and then like there was like maybe an hour after the event started. There was six or five trailers pulling out because us, man. Like I'm kind of the same way. If I was there, kind of solo. Once I'm done, if I ain't got no other business to take care of, I'm gone, man. Yeah. I'm out. Like peace. I say bye to. I gotta say bye to, and I'm gone, man. But that event was a little bit different. That's why, like when the car happened, I started walking the pits, man, and I just started like I wasn't really looking for anybody, but then like people was coming up to me like, hey man, what's up? I seen you on this. I ran into Sebastian. And different things like that, man. So it was like, and then I walked past LZ pit, twice. But then like I'm like, why would I expect anything different? He was just like that. It was just mobbed the whole time. Like
ain't it now you got to see it firsthand. Ain't that gnarly?
What is crazy because I walked behind the it was funny because like I watched the video, so I like, and that cameraman, I will say the cameraman, I never seen a cameraman. Like who the fuck's recording?
That's tight, huh?
It's like you never see the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the cut getting it.
Because when I noticed I was in the intro of the video, like just standing over there at the driver's meeting, I didn't see no cameras, no nothing. They were just I'm like, what this dude got like a micro camera or some shit or
I love cameramen that shit. That they're in the they can blend into the scene, be masters of the element. Yeah, they could be standing right near you.
Bro, I didn't see nothing because I seen them over there. I seen them over there, but but it is what it is, man. Like with that, it was to me, because I never seen shit in a person like the way they interact. So anyway, he was jacking up the car to tighten with the bolt for the caliper, and there was like there was like a whole horseshoe of people just like standing there watching, right? And I'm like, I walked around the back, and it's not that, and I don't want to get this shit twisted wrong because I said it in my joint. It's not that I'm like, I feel like I'm above people or whatever, but it's like, bro, if I run into him like on a one, because I don't want to talk to him or anybody like that in a crowd, because they're ADHD kind of,
right?
And they're like yeah cool, yeah, all right, later man, and then like right on to the next.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, and so I'm like, and it's not, I subscribe to him, so I'm a supporter. Yeah. But the energy, I'm looking to talk about some different shit, and and also it has to be, it sucks that you got to do this, but you got to let people know that you got to let them know that you don't want nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't have nothing to offer you, or I don't want to take anything from you.
Right.
I don't need anything from you. I don't just want to take a picture with you.
Yeah, there was no pictures, no nothing.
Just if you get an opportunity and we chop it, and it's just like, all right, my G, good meeting you.
Yeah, that's bro, that's what it was, man. And people like, I think people kind of rehearse, and I didn't rehearse it. I don't care who walks into my studio right now. I'm gonna be the same. I'm not gonna hop up like, oh shit, it's Tom Cruise. Hey man, let me get you like some water or some like, you know what I mean? It's cool that you came here, so I'm gonna give you respect for that. But at the same time, I'm good at what I'm doing. I don't need another dude to pull me up. So networking, we could do that. And I talked to him, man. It was, you know me. I mean, again, just like I'm talking to you now, I was like, he came because he could have. He was riding a scooter. It was weird, and I looked up. I was putting the car in a trailer, and I was like, you know, there's no crew around him and shit. So I just looked up and I kind of like stopped a little bit, and I was tying the car down, and then he stopped. You know what I'm saying? He could have kept riding right by me and shit. So the fact that he stopped, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he knows about me. I'm pretty sure I got enough stuff out there that he's seen something of me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm known, but you know, people should know. You know, I'm in Japan, whatever. So we chopped it up, man. I was just like right at the back. I was like, dude. I was like, hey, man. I was like, dude. I was gonna come chop it up with you, man, but I didn't want to be around the mob. And he kind of, you know, he acknowledged. You know, I'm not trying to paint him like he don't care about his people, but you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. And he, I was like,
yeah, no, I feel you.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, because he gave me like a little grin, like he knew, like I know what it was and everything. So I was like, hey man, you know, much respect on what you're doing. I know, like I'm like straight. I mean, because that time we're both getting out of there. So I was like, man, I know time is you know what it is. Trying to rethink what I said because it's not rehearsed.
Right.
And, and I was like, man, just keep doing your thing, man. Get on that podium. He was like, yeah, I'm trying. And I was like, man, I know a lot of people think what you're doing is easier, man. Trust me, man. I was letting them know that I feel, you know, I feel what he's probably going through and stuff like that. And you got the supporters, then you got as equal a number of people who hate you. Like this, both are high. You know what I mean? They hate you just because you're successful. So like, and I'm like, bro, you know, I do 18, 16 hours a day, and it's not. I know we kind of cliché say like it's living a dream, but it's everything other than. So if one of you guys out there watching happen to roll with him for a day and you see how much stuff because the shit on camera is the stuff that they're filming. But if you see like the grind that it takes, hey, go pick up this, go pick up that, do this, do that, you know what I mean? Then you be like, oh shit, this is work.
Dude, it's, you know, when I used to hang with Justin for the whole weekends and shit, you'd be surprised how much he's on his phone, responding to emails, responding to text messages, working business deals, working things out in the middle of building shit, in the middle of running to pick up parts, calling people to see if they've got what he needs. You know, it's just so much stuff that they deal with, and that's just driver. Adam is media and driver, and business. So it's texting or back and forth with his guys about orders, restocking, merchandise. It's just so much shit that they deal with in the day. Then they know their bread and butter is the community that they've built on their social media and their YouTube. So they have to address that. They have to interact with them. So their day is full of so much shit. And then when it gets to the portion of the day where it belongs to them, their friends, their homies, their immediate circle, that goes ahead and that goes ahead and comes with them when they get to spend their time there. That's why they're always up so fucking late.
Yeah,
because it's like, all right, now all that's done. Damn, it's like 10 or something. Y'all want to go get dinner?
Yeah.
Y'all want to go hang? And then it's like, damn, motherfucker. Okay, let's go hang. You know, then you're up till like 2, 3 in the morning because that's their social hour.
Yeah,
it's very admirable. Like, you and I were parents, and like I tell people quick, I'm about to old man it. They already know. This motherfucker, he cutting out. You know, like my boys when we go ride. There's reasons why I don't do nighttime vlogs. I'm in the house. I go home. You know what I'm saying? I don't do no nighttime riding or nothing. I be to the house, you know. So it's just like there's there's a period that those guys deal with that we have no understanding, So I think really cool, is really commendable how they move and they maximize their days. So the work is really hard, even though we're thinking all you're doing is turning the camera on you and everybody's buying it already because you've got an established brand or you're playing with cars. Nah, y'all understand. They're bulletin boards. I've been in rooms where I see a whiteboard with hella shit on it, dates, time frames, when shit has to be done. It's just like they set shit up. They line up the way that they're going to film the content. And then editing takes hella long too.
Yeah,
you know.
They had the joint. It seemed like they definitely got to have a mobile. That was definitely done from the road. Because they were still there. I'm pretty sure because that came out like almost a day after the event, and it was weird though because he didn't. I actually checked the thing to see because I didn't I checked on it, but they didn't put any on the Instagram at least. They didn't put like we're gonna be at the AMP because because that'll create a mob.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll create the mob.
That's why they don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
now Formula D, yeah. D, I'm gonna be at Formula D. Come fucking cause pandemonium here at Formula D. But at that where I want to drive, I want to enjoy myself. I'm not telling you I'm there. If you're there, you see me. Holy shit, he's here.
Right.
I love that they do that type of shit because that's when you know that they're taking it seriously and they ain't in for the clout. He really wants to drive. He really wants to go drive and get better.
Yeah, so it took like and they did have a prime spot because they were parked. It was like the showcase parking because it was like right there, and there was the traffic area. So you go from that area, the pits, you can walk the pits, and it was cool. I was wondering how they're gonna do it, but the pits were open, so the spectators could walk all through the pits. You know what I mean? There was no ropes and there's no car. The car show shit was, of course, their shit was roped off because the car shows you can't breathe on those. But and nobody was touching the drift cars and shit like that. So as soon as I guess one person would say, "Hey man, LZ's over there," then it starts to gaggle.
Oh yeah,
and everything, man. So so it was cool. But yeah, it was also there was other YouTubers there and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it was. Again, I wasn't out there like looking for people to like acknowledge me and shit. People was just like coming up to me like, "Oh man, like I didn't know he was gonna be here and this, that, and the other." And it was like pretty cool because again, my followers only got like 7,000 subscribers and shit, and I don't be pushing it like that. And it's not what we there. I was there to just take a little break from my shop. Unfortunately, I got a longer break than I thought because I didn't know that shit was gonna be. So right after we get done, I got some. So I'm doing pretty much digital work, like no physical stuff for any customers, because I was like, I don't want to have somebody around me within 14 days and those dumbasses get sick. No, not dumb, just using it. They get sick and then they'll ask who you're around, and then they pick up my name, and then it pops up that I just got back 4 days ago, and it's like, oh shit, you got it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I'm on business too, so I got to be careful with that stuff, man. So yeah, man, it is what it is. I did have some kind of. I had like an early part of the trip where the first night, man, I did a job for a guy right before I left, and just like Murphy Laws will have it, the seal didn't sit right, and also he had some other issues that I told him about, and they kind of came up, and he kind of sent me this long like passive aggressive email, and I went right. I was like, nah, this ain't waiting. So I'm like supposed to be away from business, so I'm sending like a fucking hand jamming the thing on my phone, man, and it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this. I'm like, this can't wait. Because if I waited till I got back, it would have been like some shit. So I'll hit that head on. So that kind of ruined my shit. And then he responded back and he was like, yeah, cool. I'll just, all right, dude. You know what I mean? Maybe you got burnt somewhere before, but I don't play that game. So we're going to take care of this and get you on your way. So I can continue on to my, I got a lot of shit to handle. And, you know what I mean? I just ain't got, me and Alan was the same way. We were joking about it because I don't wait. I like to hit shit head the fuck on, man. I don't like to wait and put it off because it's just gonna get worse. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, all that shit was cool. It was definitely a cool event. Definitely cool to go over there, and it's definitely a different. Far as the drift event, it's something that I, you know, what I mean, it's just different, man. Everybody is like it's a mandatory now that you got to have a large crew now and all this stuff, and I don't. That's just not my vibe too much.
Change, right?
Yeah, it's like. You must have like a You got a guy for your tires. You got a guy for this. You got, if you're doing social media, you got a guy for social media. So everybody had like, 4 or 5 people around them. And I'm like, is that what you have to have, or that's just what people think you have to have? Because I don't,
I love being so old school.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing, drifting or gripping, I just pull up with my trailer, with my car, by myself, maybe with my son.
And the older cats did have that. The older cats, there was some old hits there. And, one guy that was like a really prominent grip guy, he was driving a GTO, bone stock GTO, but he could drift. And it was just him and his son. I think his son, it looked like his son was, 20, he was older guy. So his son was about 28, 30 or whatever, or even older than that. He was driving a BMW, and it was just him and him. It was just them. And it was just pretty much me and Alan, you know what I'm saying? And so the other guys, and nothing against it, but they just kind of had like the whole crew and entourage. And I understand that's kind of the new wave of, we're not knocking it, but it's just, I don't got to roll like that.
Right, because we understand and we know that you can roll without that, because we know like the older generation of what drifting was, where it came from. It's just you and your shit. Get it together or don't.
Yeah.
Now guys have, they'll go change my tires and stuff, and they never leave their car. Like, all right, I don't got it like that. I'm just out here. I'll take my time, hit the wheels, put them on myself, fill it up. My oil, my water. All right, back out on the track,
Yeah, man.
But speaking of guys that have their crew, Literal seems to have his crew rebuilding an RB.
Yeah. They already got it done. Looks like they already got it done and everything, man. So of course that with that, man, like you say, it was just, it's kind of crazy that happens like a week after we had Mike on, and yeah, we mentioned that, man, and I was like, he has it's one of those things, like, he's growing a following even further, and kind of what I said to you was pretty much like, man, he kind of put, I personally, if my shit breaks, I'm not going online and be like, hey man, this and this happened. So he had I think he did that to get ahead of the wave, get ahead of the haters.
Of the shit storm that would possibly happen once they found out. Yeah.
So that, they'll get rid of that, because I mean, that shit could have happened. It could have been like, hey, this stays here, we fix it, we come back, and nobody knows the difference. But then again, like, you got to bank on everybody there not running their mouth and shit and saying like, hey man, that shit actually blew the fuck up at this and this, and it's not a big, hey man, it's this shit, it happens, and people don't understand, man. This shit's gonna last a little bit longer, but stuff happens, man. So one thing is off, something happens there, it's gonna cause, they're doing high power nitrous, lots of boost, man. That's a lot of clacking around and shit.
And literally, that could happen with tuning the car in California and then going and driving it in another state that has different air density and shit.
Exactly.
Like, that's the things that can happen. And it does not mean that motor wasn't built right.
No.
It doesn't mean that the RBs are weaker. That don't mean shit. It just means that happened. Yeah. That's literally all it means.
That's all it means, man. So like, but again, it's good. It's good. Actually, I mean, I know exactly why he did it, because again, he's definitely growing his brand with this. He's leaning into it. And, again, for me, even like, it's like one of those things when I said I had to thing with a customer while I was in Atlanta. When I told everybody, I put a post up saying everything was on pause until I get back. I wasn't expecting to get an email from a dude saying his front sill is leaking that I just replaced. So I'm like, if the part is faulty, I'll get with Mitsubishi or whatever and see what's up. But I've done a lot of seals. They don't really, there's not many ways to put them in. And he had some other stuff, and I was like, hey, Hill, I was like, dude, I told you about that. So that's not on me. So I'll take care of the seals joint. And I pretty much told him what's going to happen, so there's no confusion. I got to actually get with him as soon as I get off of here. But it's like right after I did that, I was like, I'm supposed to be away. I put up an all call. Hey, if you got warranty issues, hit me up or do whatever. I'll respond to you and let you know what's going to happen. And that was what, and that's 3 days after I said I was done. So I mean, I can say what I want to. It's my business.
But right.
Yeah. So it was like it was I put that out there because I wanted to. He wasn't. Luckily, this customer was not that type of dude. Yeah. But it could have went like he could have, and he got with me first. He didn't go and talk to a bunch of. I was like, hey man, I want to clarify this is between me and you first. and I've already, of course, talked to him since then. And I got ahead of the game. So just in case he did kind of mention it to somebody, I was like, hey, man, this is why my warranty program's in service. I don't utilize it a lot, but it's there. You got 6 months, as long as you don't touch shit. And I told him, don't touch nothing. He was talking about going in there. I'm like, don't touch nothing. Let me get it. Let me go back, because now you're you're saying something's leaking, but I don't know if you touched something. So
yeah, adding something else in the equation.
Yeah, so let me go back and do it and everything. And what happened in a nutshell? What happened? There was work done on the car before, and this happened and I found it out right. I'm getting out of town in 48 hours. They did a timeout job before, but they put the covers on without some of the grommets, and it flexed. The cover was flexed. So when I fixed, I kind of put it the right way. It was already warped and everything, so it was pretty much making contact with the pulleys. So
gotcha.
It's the plastic cover. If you take the plastic cover out, there's no noise because there's nothing there. So I was like, all right, we need to do new plastics. You're gonna pay for that, but the warranty, I'll cover the labor because I was there. I want to check my work. So it wasn't like it's all on me, it's all on him. I'm like, this is the stipulations, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go back and check my work. I mean, I could have. I'm like, I told him straight up, if I would have stopped the job, you wouldn't get your car back to fucking almost end of July. So and he was like, yeah, I respect that, blah blah blah. So it is what it is. It's just pointing it out, and that's why people don't understand why I run my business very militant. Because if you don't outline shit, then they'll just interpret it how they want to interpret it, or you could just be like, fuck off. So, and it can get to that point, man. I'll support my word, but if you won't even let me do my work, then this could be like, hey, you know what, man, go somewhere else, because you're just acting like way out of, you're, what is it? They got caring for the women. It's like, oh, you acting like a little Jeff or some shit. Like your name is Jeff.
Acting like
a Jeff.
What do they call it? The Karens and then the Karens and the Kins.
Yeah. But no, he's cool. He's cool and everything. He didn't get back to me for about a day, but it just has some shit going on. But anyway, man, it is on Ryan shit. Long story short on that, man, is like, hey, man, shit's gonna happen. He already got the other engine sorted. They got the good support and everything, and he's keeping it chipper, man. So it's all good, man.
You take your losses as you take your wins, man.
Yeah.
You can't do battles without being dictated in the history books as, won the battle, won the war is a saying for a reason.
Yeah.
You lose a couple battles, but you win the war. You win the battles and you lose the war. It happens on both sides, both ways. So, you and I, like JTP's lost a motor that nobody ever knew of. Because it's like, we keeping that shit internal. The motherfucker blew. We about to work all night, put that motherfucker in, get it cracking. It happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But JTP does not run a media front that he feeds people information from,
Right.
And Ryan has started this whole thing, which, as you see, people still riding for it, still riding for him. But being transparent, caught a L, fixed it. We back ready to rock. Formula D's this weekend. Put that motherfucker in competition, and then really, let's say he lost that battle, but he wins a round in FD. That's a war that's won.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
saying?
And then until Rad Dan puts up a number on the board where he wins and stands on the podium, you can't. These are all just battles. You can't win a war, and that's who he's going up.
That's just dope. It's a competition within the competition.
Yeah. That's what makes it tight. That's
so it's like
that's wrestling shit about it.
It's all the drivers. But then it's like them. It's like they got to That's cool as fuck, because people are now going to tune in to see So now it's like they're placing, like, of course they want to get podium stand top step and all that stuff like that. But like so now let's say, Dan gets to a top 16 and Ryan is out there.
Yeah, Ryan you're watching it. Ryan gotta get a top 16 in the match, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Let's say Dan goes to top 8. Ooh, Ryan's going up against Osbo. He ain't about to make this top 8. Dan might win this battle here.
So there's a battle. It's a battle inside of a battle. That's crazy. And I'm not sure if FD Reach are like, hey guys, I'm pretty sure
they need to really be on that.
Yeah, they
right?
should. I don't think they shouldn't stop that.
Oh.
They shouldn't stop. They'd be like, hey man, well, you guys can't. You gotta. But I'm like, dude, F1 guys do that shit all the fucking time. So why would you intervene? Like, there's clearly drivers that don't like each other. I'm not saying I'm not
that with MotoGP.
Right.
speak on the rivalry between riders.
Right.
Oh, is so and so gonna go against so and so, and they've qualified in this. This guy, he's really good at this track. He's not that good at this track. His bike has a top end. His bike has a corner. And they put all of the aspects together. Why wouldn't Formula D say the RB Army versus the JZs?
Yeah, lean into that shit, man.
And with this many top 16 appearances, we've got literal this many top 16 appearances, but none of the motherfuckers have done this yet.
Yeah.
This happened during the downtime. Dan's cruising through. He's had no issues during the downtime. Is literal pressed? Is he gonna make it in time? Is he gonna get enough shakedown time in his car? He still hasn't driven in much. They can make up storylines. They got Lorette Nichols doing that behind the scenes type shit. Somebody, what's up?
Yeah.
Do you need writers?
Yeah. So
me and my man, we can handle this.
Yeah. Hey, for Dan, like, cause I don't know him personally. I know, he's a good driver, but I did kind of seen, because does he have an issue with like a lot of stuff breaking a lot? Is that like like it seemed like the people jabbing?
No,
that's not.
He crashes all the time.
Okay, I thought it was
fucked up his car.
Yeah, I thought it was something with either the car or he was. I just seen people was like, oh man, he's like, because it was always something broken or blown with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like he just got a really violent style.
It's like with him, and I know he doesn't mean to do it because he absolutely loves Supras like they're dogs.
Yeah.
So he just crashes a lot.
Okay.
And they're violent fucking crashes, frame shifting crashes. And it's like there was a year, I think every round but one, he crashed and basically essentially totals the car. So he's just a wreckers dude. He hasn't gotten the checkers yet, so we can't say wreckers or checkers. He's just a wreckers dude. And, for him, as we watch him progress as a driver, because he's still relatively new in the series-ish, he's getting a lot of seat time, so he's getting better in his talent and craft. But putting it together in Formula D is a different thing than just being a good driver. So we've still got to watch the saga continue until he puts it together. Ryan Literal has more aggression, has more internal determination to do specific things. If you put they're literally two far opposing types of personalities, but the same dudes. Dan is super mellow-toned, super relaxed, a surfer. Ryan is aggressive, can be abrasive, a motocross dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like two different ends of the spectrum, but drivers, and then they've got to one-up each other at this point in time now because it's in opposition. They're the ops. Each other. So until somebody puts that shit on the podium, y'all just going head up running artillery. Who's gonna?
So the battle's gonna be they're gonna link up against each other at some point, and that's gonna be like that. You're gonna see. You already got. You already got the normals. You got LZ group. Then if that happens, if that podium, like it's gonna spike up. If they do that, and then they're gonna maybe other drivers gonna take like, hey man, you know what I mean? I heard you say this shit about my stuff or whatever, blah blah blah. And it's like, hey man, like this, you got it's entertainment, man. Like it's more now. It's more than just what you call, man. Which is why, you know what I mean. For me, man, I carry, dude. Because people, the amount of people out there, that's around and everything. Let's say like a Ryan Literal's attitude type and everything. The average person, you had to find you'll go through maybe 45 people before you find somebody who's like that. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
And not just like him, but like, got the same
type of
same vibe, same cool, stuff like that, man. The average people, like they're going out of their way to be, you know what I mean? We not trying to be dicks or whatever, but some people go out of their way they want to be coined as, oh man, Marty's super nice, man. He wouldn't harm a fly.
Yeah. They want to be safe.
Fuck that, man.
They want to be liked by people. When you just man, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just like it's just Mike Tyson. You could be cool, but you say some dumb shit, he's gonna let you know, hey man, that shit was dumb. You see it on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he has
boys,
yeah. Go ahead.
you get natural Toyota Supra, which is a cult car with a Jay-Z. Toyota. The S15, which is a cult car with an RB, Nissan. It's just like,
Right.
who don't want to see that go head up?
Yeah.
And then which personality do you side with? And it's funny, like when Mike Tyson went on Logan Paul's podcast and he's like, "Oh, really fighting Floyd?" And Floyd about to kick your ass, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't know
and then like this, like, and what they gonna say, my man? I got the Mike Power joint in there when he threw the wheel. I was like, man, I felt that shit to my core. I just clicked on it. I don't know if you've seen that.
Wait. What? No, I haven't been on. It's been so fucking hot.
Yeah, it's everybody's been there, man. Like, and everybody was like, I just typed, man. I felt it to my core. Is maybe had a bad run, and camera was on the inside. And he like took the wheel off through it and banged the interior. I was like, yeah, I've done that shit before, man.
Oh yeah.
It's like, because you know you better than that, man. Shout out to Mike Powers,
where you
man.
just sit in your seat and just be like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, man.
Head back, like,
yeah,
damn.
Man. Yeah, you'll see it if you check out this thing, man. But he's another cat I'm gonna get back on here and everything. But yeah, man, it is what it is and that stuff, man. It's just yeah, man, it's not, I don't know if you seen my post when I was like, man, this shit's kind of lame, but I was like, hey, I'll post it anyway. People liked it. Now, because I went through the airport with my jumper on and shit. So like, I'm already fucking 5'11". I'm 250 something pounds. I'm bigger than average people, muscular wise, and then I got a fucking mohawk. I got all this shit just like standing. It's like you can see definitely that I'm not trying to blend in, and that's the case. So I got dudes looking at me, I got chicks looking at me, and everything, and I got people like, hey man, what the fuck do you do? Like you're competing in the Olympics? Like, nah, dude. I mean, I was an athlete, but I'm not Olympic level, and pretty good. But then they noticed I had an Olympic shirt on, and then I gave 2 business cards out, man. One guy was like, hey man, what do you do? I was like, I run a performance shop. He's like, oh shit, I'm trying to import. So the security dude who was supposed to check my boarding pass, I'm giving this motherfucker a business card, and I'm like, dude, the line's getting. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, I see the line forming behind me and shit.
Yeah.
And he was
but
like,
you're cognizant of
that. Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, hey man,
I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, just hit me up here, and we could do some work. And then another dude was just like, saying something. I gave him a card or whatever, man. But it's like, if I'm wearing like a regular plaid shirt, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? I blend in. I got some grays and blacks on, a white shirt. I got the mohawk, but it's like, okay, are you military? Special ops. And right.
Yeah.
So but they knew I wasn't.
Gunner motherfucker, huh?
Yeah. So I had a all black military 3-day bag, but doesn't stick out. So most people get the olive green or like the AC fatigue. So I had the black joint, so people didn't know it was a military bag, but assault bag. So I had that joint, and then when they separate when we came back, it was like all U.S. military DOD on this side, and then everybody else from this side. So all the military dudes like. They looking at me, dude, why are you over there? I'm like, because I'm not military. I'm on visa. Mm-hmm. But they could tell I was military at one point. So, yeah, man. But, that's just like, I mean, I made it a choice because I was like, man, I'm going to just wear my regular shirt. And I was like, nah, fuck that, dude. I'm going to be the first person to fly in the air with Bridge Moto jumper on. And I was.
That part.
You know what I mean? So, and it definitely did what it did, man. But, like, we're getting at, what I'm getting at, guys, are there. Because we're kind of rambling and shit. It's just like, man, just do you, man. And like, don't be afraid. People are so fucking afraid to be different, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. And that's the thing, too. I'm so comfortable in my skin, bro. It's just like.
Yeah, you're a dude in Cali wearing a beanie and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
all the fucking time.
All the time, dude. Like,
all the time.
This motherfucker.
Be like, yo, you must be bald.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I got mad hair. My hairline's crispy too, bitch.
Yeah.
Even take me out.
Yeah.
I just like wearing beanies.
Yeah.
I literally do it just because I like to,
Yeah.
It's too hot today or I'd have a fucking hoodie on. It is absolutely too hot. But, it's just like being comfortable in your skin, bro. Especially when, like, you kind of talked about the groups of people like to floss on each other and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Motherfucker gonna ask me when I bought this bike, oh, why didn't you get R1M? Excuse me, sir. This bike doesn't have an inversion. This is the highest form of this model bike, dog. Like this one. I don't like that new shit that's the only one that you know because it's current.
Yeah.
No, I'm an enthusiast. This is the one I like. Doesn't fucking mix. It's still a fucking $13,000 motorcycle. The new ones are 16. And you think I can't afford $3,000 more dollars?
Yeah.
Man, or then the other foods. Why you got Mazdas? This one I've had since I was 16. I've put well over probably about 115,000 in it with all the fuck ups, the mistakes that I've ever made, and then the different levels that I've built it in. Why would I get rid of this?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, and it works really fucking good currently. But I spent so much money in it. There's so much history in it. There's so many things I've done with this car, so many stages. That's why I don't drive a Benz. Because guess what I drive every day? A fucking work transit van because it's free.
Yeah.
Man, and then I have 5 other Mazdas around my property. And then I put a picture up the other day. Justin say that is a weird flex. It's like I have 7 Yamahas. I got 5 Mazdas, 3 Ford trucks, 7 Yamaha. Like I have what I like, and I'm so with being good with me because I like exactly what I like. If I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, I could probably have a Viper or a Maserati. Like I really do want one, but I don't really have I don't see it because I don't drive my street cars. You know what I'm saying? Like if I drove my street cars or went to meets, I just want a Maserati because they're amazing. They sound glorious, but there's no use for that car. I have no use for it. And then these are the most fun thing I could do on the streets.
Yeah.
So it's like, if anything you learn from me, Donnie, anybody that's really being authentically themselves, man, be super fucking comfortable with your skin, bro.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you start popping doing some other shit that another motherfucker's doing, and you were led to doing that because you were trying to do what they do, and you sitting there mad as shit or uncomfortable as shit about what you're doing, who fought that?
That's definitely And you see guys like that, man. Those type of dudes generally don't last long in whatever they're doing. They kind of faking the funk and shit like that, man. And it's like that's not what you do, man. So like, you know what I mean? I was just talking to a cat before I came on, and it was about music and everything. I make music. I'm pretty decent at it. And you know what I mean? I told this guy, I'm like, man, maybe if it was like 90s, I would have a shot. But it's like I started going towards cars, and then like, you know, the computers started coming out, and everybody was able to make whatever they could make you can make beats on the goddamn cell phone now almost. So it's like it's different than it was back then when you had to buy the gear and all that stuff. So now you got the vision where you got all the old school cats with all the gear, and they ain't really making shit. And then you got the new cats with a laptop and they making fire.
They making hella shit.
Yeah, and it's like, hey man, you can't get mad at this young guy because this shit's popping. You got a laptop and a mouse clicker, and you got a whole rack full of gear. Like I got a lot of gear here, and it's actually slimmed down. But it's like that's not my grind. And I told a story about J. Cole team lifting one of my beats, and you know, I mean, it happens, man. It's just they got the lawyers, and they could do it. You go on SoundCloud and pretty much, I want this, I want this, I want that, and that guy don't got the lawyers. I can get the lawyers and get it cleared. It's my beat.
They'll make shit make sense.
Yeah, and it was like I actually talked to the artist because I was like, man, I want to see how this shit works. I wasn't trying to I was like, hey man, I sampled this track. It's down on this thing, and it's with this artist or whatever. And he told me who it was, so I didn't have to say nothing. So I wasn't like snitching. So I was like, hey man, I had a track that I made and it's now public, and I was like, you know, it was like, what's the track name? And he said, oh yeah, that's been cleared by whatever was, you know, whoever cleared it. So I kind of did that to see if they already knew and everything, and if they didn't, they would have found out. So I guess you know, dry snitching, whatever you want to call it. I was just at the time, I was pissed because I'm like, bro, that's my beat, and they just took it and flipped some hi hats, same tempo, same everything. And a dude, what was alarming, I didn't realize a dude 2 days before this hit me up. He said, hey man, you sold a beat to J. Cole? I was like, nah man, I really don't even know who he is at that time. And he was like, oh man, because I heard, and he follows my music, so he said, hey man, check this out. And I was like, bro, that's my shit, dude. I didn't, you know what I mean? And I'm like, really, dude? Like, and I know he made money on it, you know. And it's like, I'm like, man, we could work together versus like you just pretty much
take him.
Yeah, just taking my shit.
Yeah.
And now it's easy to do now because they got the app called Shazam. You just hold that shit up, and it tells you what it is. So the sample on my part, and I kind of changed my thing since I used to play like part of the melody, but now I kind of chop it more because if you chop it more, you can't really get that. But people gonna find out anyway. You're like, hey man, who made this? And some dude to figure out who made that shit. So honestly, only thing out there, guys, is like before you hit the upload button, you just gotta know that shit ain't really yours no more. And that's all. You know, it took me 2 years to get over it and everything. But once you hit that submit button, this shit ain't
gone to the world.
Gone, dude. It's gone. That shit's gone, man. So it is what it is on that shit.
So how long you got for your quarantine?
Shit, I got 13 more days, man. 13 more days. So I pretty much converted my shop into a hotel and everything, and I got luckily I got running water here and everything, so I can do my thing and with the bathing and all that stuff. And I got of course toilet and stuff here. So honestly, it's kind of cool. I like to see my kids and shit, but it is what it is. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, so that kind of pissed me off a little bit. So and the Japanese man, my wife brought me some stuff today, and she like touching the box with a plastic. I'm like, dude, I don't got fucking external aids.
I don't have this shit.
Yeah.
They telling me to chill out. Now, did they tell you that before? Because when I traveled during COVID, I was told.
I mean, I knew of it. Yeah.
And I knew not to fly back into San Francisco SFO because they would have made me do a 10-day quarantine and shit like that. So you kind of had to be, cunning about things like that.
Well, if you for certain places you weren't given an option. You weren't given an option. Like you came in for certain places, they would either like you should have known not to even come there because they wouldn't allow you in. They would have fucking pretty much been like, hey, you getting back on something and out of here. So there's other things if you. All right, we're recording. All right, cool. Let's do a real one real quick. So it's gonna be mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All
good. But yeah, man, what was y'all talking about, man? I totally forgot.
Yeah, your quarantine.
Oh yeah. So for the quarantine thing, I knew before, it was kind of cryptic, but the sites are cool now because you can actually go to all the airlines and put destination and where you're gonna go, and it says everything right. So it wasn't no guesswork. So it was like pretty much America was like, yeah, you don't need this, and this. So I got the thing going out, and I pretty much used that only from boarding the plane from Japan to America. Once I got there, they didn't ask for that shit. So the cool thing was, the reason why I say I took 3 tests in 48 hours was, luckily I seen it. The first and this guys are there who going to travel, make sure you don't take the antigen test because that one is more localized and just says you don't have it, but they won't let you in the airport. So I was right next to a chick. It was a group of Africans. And I'm like, and I could tell the chick was, they were coming from Atlanta, and the chick was like, nah, this is fake. You ain't going nowhere. And I'm like, God damn, she just told her. Because I'm guessing if they get past them, then they're going to get fucked. So it's one of those things where they ain't trying to be dicks at the...
wait, they had a fake virus vaccination card?
Yeah, the 3 people, it was 4 people. The 3 dudes, their shits were legit, but her shit looked like she printed off the internet, and the chick was like, yeah, I can print this off the internet. So I was like, man, fuck, because I did the antigen one is just like kind of is like it's written in, and if I would have showed up with that shit, I wouldn't have been able to left Atlanta because the PCR one was all typed out. It was a different. Yeah. It was like a lot of fucking shit, and you could tell.
I had it on my phone. I just was like,
yeah. Well, they were supposed to email me, but this Georgia, this rural Georgia, they not, the education is what it is. So they put for race, they put what the fuck they put?
Big black man.
No, I said no for race. They put male. Like I was like, I was like, all right, cool, whatever, man. So, but yeah, Alan. So I was like, man, fuck us. We were chilling, and what happened, man? Yeah, I was like talking to Shinobu, and I noticed it said PCR. No, I was like, I need PCR because that's what I got when I went out. So and I called. He was like, and what the cool thing was they retested me. But I didn't have to pay the whole. They let me pay the difference because they knew I was going to fly out and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This shit we still going and stuff like that, man. So yeah, man, it is. And that stuff. The trip was cool and everything, man. I don't hold you too long. And plus, I got to figure out what's going on with this computer. But it was dope. We definitely can link up again and make it happen and everything. I'm gonna chop this up and get this up online and stuff like that, man. So you know, what I mean, guys, there definitely, man. It was good stuff. Definitely check out the event for July 19th. It's going to be the joint with Lex on there. Discovery Plus if you want to see it early, and we definitely will do a recap on that stuff and everything and get it done. Then you'll be probably saying this. And also, if you're down for it, we could do the FD shit live. I could just figure out the
Oh yeah. I'm down for that.
So what I'll do is probably tomorrow or the next day, depending on your time. We'll do some test run because I want to see. I want to try to get the it's a latency. I gotta test it out. So what I'll do is probably do a private live and check, and I gotta adjust the settings till we get the latency right. That way it won't be lagging when the people watch, because when I did it the last time, nobody was really saying anything, so obviously it's not a big deal and everything. But I want to make sure the latency is live. Like when we're talking, I'm not talking like after you or before you and stuff like that. So we could do that and everything, man. So definitely, man, thanks for the time. This probably shit.
Oh yeah.
This is like this is like a little bit of an hour and 55 minutes, man. So this is uncommon.
We're gonna knock out some more.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Cause you got time, cuz.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna put this on. I said I was gonna go to sleep, but I can't fucking sleep. It's daytime.
I'm
gonna go down there and do the COVID assembly and get my RB26 built and put that in S13 and see if I can get that done before I get out of quarantine, man. That's a little challenge and everything, somewhat.
Busy.
And I got some other customer stuff that's already here that I can jam on. So I'm just trying to make things happen and, get some money in the bank while I'm sitting here, because I'm literally burning cash right now.
Yeah. Sitting stagnant.
Yeah, man. But it is. I knew that going out, so I can't be mad at it. I'd be annoyed by it, but can't be mad at the system because the rules are the rules.
Yeah. Rules are rules, just like Shikari.
Oh man,
she got to learn rules.
Bro, that's with that shit, man. We go opening it up again, man, with her and everything, man. It's just like, bro, her mom passed away. That's unfortunate, but the fact that she even tried to kind of use that was like, man, come on, nah, you didn't. Yeah, your mom and
exactly.
You so that's kind of like
right at the brink of the biggest stage of your life.
Yeah, only positive part, she's only 21, 22, 23.
You have another opportunity.
Yeah, she's going to be right back in there, but that's a lot, 4 years, that's, man, you would definitely, yeah, you can, you get older you get, you lose the steam a little bit. Still 25 is young, but still, man, you can, so.
She can catch one injury trying to improve her form and between time in the meantime, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is she don't need the Olympics to break the records. She can still break those, but if she break the record on that stage, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot. Yeah. And she physically say, "I'm the fastest woman in the world."
Yeah, so people were So they from what I've read, is it completely done? She's done, or is it?
Yeah, she's out.
Okay.
First they were saying the 100-meter, then it was still good for the relay, but then yesterday I think they was like, nope, completely.
Yeah,
that's done.
And what it comes down to it is America wants her to win. Man, you get into all the race shit and everything, man. You see the gymnasts, they're all it's a all black team, first time ever.
Everybody, yeah.
And it's like it's like, dude, like, bro, I don't care what, you can't deny the physical attributes that. It's not our fault, It's not our fault that we're naturally on average faster than the average other guy, other than walking around. Now you get into the Cubans and the Dominicans, they're pretty much African. That's why they're, saying you get into the Brazilians and stuff like that, man. It's like they're partially African. So you got you got those traits, man. And it's like, the shit that made up Michael Phelps. Not saying that it's because he's a white guy, but it's just. Whatever his DNA was made him a good swimmer. Now he's not. He probably can't run.
The gymnast shorty.
Yeah,
she's built perfectly for what she does.
Yeah,
Michael Phelps could have been.
Yeah, Michael Phelps. He had fucking webbed his hand. Supposedly his feet were webbed.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I never looked at.
If you check it out, supposedly his feet are actually naturally webbed in between the toes. They can't. He's not cheating. His shit's just got. He got fucking flippers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
I'm gonna look at.
Yeah. Check that shit out, man. But he got the long torso and a long reach and all that shit that's conducive to swimming. Now you can't take Usain Bolt, put him in a pool, different element. You take Michael Phelps, put him on the track,
the same way, but yeah,
different element. Different makeups and everything, man. So like people want to say what they want to say, but I don't give a fuck, man. Like, you know, it's probably controversial to some people to, oh man, they all black, we're all white. If they win all golds, then I guarantee you'd be up there with that fucking flag, and you add all those gold medals to the race standings and shit. You know what I mean? Not race standings, but the over, you know, they did overall gold medals, who got the gold medals and shit. And you know what I mean? They're gonna take them because it's like America. So it's weird how that goes, man. You know what I mean? We acknowledge it for what it is. Like I tell people before, I'm the furthest away from like some race baiting type dude, but I will point out the obvious bullshit and the shit that's been said, and everybody's, you know, trying to say automatically that, you know, people were saying stuff about the Shikari chick because she's black or whatever, and this and this, and she was that and blah blah blah. Like, man,
I've been watching people with their little tidbits of shit they've been saying, and you just be like, damn. You know, until a motherfucker fails, they're okay to represent you. When they do something to not represent you at the moment, then you're everything that your stereotype is.
Yep.
But a second ago, you was quiet about it.
It was good.
Now, this is how you feel. Nah, that's
hey, look at that. Hey, check out this shit. Bill Cosby.
My man.
Bill, like
but look, now I'm mad because of that.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. But that, you know what I'm saying, right?
Not to be a creep.
Right.
He just had a bad trial.
Yeah.
And literally the legal sense of what happened to him was wrong.
Yeah, so
it's washed.
Yeah, so it's like we don't know what really went down, what happened. Yeah, I heard him say that shit when he came out and everything, but it's like the you know, and it's funny, man. A lot of the, you know, it's we watch some of the same podcasts, and some of the comedians, man, I already like kind of left some comedians alone because they showed some shit, and all the rest of them, like, you know, they went from him being the idol of the man to like he's despicable. So they kind of following suit, and they want to distance themselves for anything. I'm not like saying what he did, you know, was cool, because I got
also know how the 80s and the 70s worked.
Yeah. So they wait this long to come out with it and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, he was America's dad, and you know, America's dad, this and this, and then they're so easy to flip, and that's why, man. That's why people are like, man, why are you always so uptight? And I'm like, bro, because I know I'm one, like the evil cat. If that some shit went crazy further south with that, I'm one job away from everybody in this town being like, oh man, everything I fucking done, all these fucking builds and all this shit and all the support I have, and I'm one build away from some dude. And this guy didn't handle it that way, luckily, and I respect him for that, and I told him that. But I'm one build and one crazy customer away from people being like, nah, man, don't go there. Even though, like, it probably won't happen, because again, my attitude won't allow that shit. So I'll go get with whoever said that shit, and I'm like, hey man, you're gonna understand that this how it was. Not that I care about what you, but you're not gonna go around town and slander my name, not without me doing something or saying something to you. So, because I don't do that to nobody else, man. So, you know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck is there. It ain't your money. Shut the fuck up. Let's move on, man.
Because on one hand, you could be this dude that people are tolerating, and then on the other hand, you're totally the opposite.
Yeah.
But it could be a scale of something. People will be riding the fence, and then just they go one way or the other.
Yeah, it definitely, man. I see it. When I see them, they're not cool about it. I'm like you said, you mentioned being comfortable in your skin. I don't care who the fuck I'm talking to. I'm gonna be me. And the thing about it, they can't, and you could tell when the dudes like, when the number one thing I get, like I told you before, and some of you guys may be hearing it the first time. Every time I go to like a car setting, I always get 3 or 4 of the guys. Hey man, I was gonna come by your shop, and like, bro, dude, I'm not gonna slap you, dude. Relax. Like, I don't know why you feel like you can just not say nothing to me, because you already don't support me. So just keep it moving. I'll keep it moving on my end. I don't gotta say nothing to you. It's not. They feel like because they got a chaser or whatever, and there's guys that they'll send everybody under the sun to me, but they won't come here. You know what I mean? And me and Alan talked about this too. Where you spend your money at shows who you fuck with. You know what I mean? Because if you're telling me, oh man, you know what I mean, I would come to you, but I already got my guy. Like, dude, okay, well, go to your guy, and then I'm seeing you constantly broken this shit, but you're still going to your guy. I'm not having those issues. So it's like, where you choose to spend your money at, when you see me, don't feel like you gotta justify that. Like, you obviously don't want to give me your money, dude. Cool.
And I'm okay with
that. And guess what? I'm on year number 5 of my business, going on to year number 6. You know what I'm saying? So obviously I'm doing something. I'm doing something right, man. So it is what it is. And that, man, like I say, man, we'll get into that shit on the next round, probably sooner than later.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So let me chop it up. I'm gonna go get the. I don't know. I'm gonna see how I want to run this thing. I'm gonna do like a little, you know, I gotta see what I'm gonna do, like a little small series, or just do the whole collective video. I gotta think on that, see what I want to do.
The quarantine series and just chop it.
Yeah, I might just chop it instead of. It might be quicker to edit too, and export and everything. So, yeah, I think I'll do it. I'll break it up, man. Thanks for the help right there and everything, man. So, but yeah, man.
We in it.
Yeah, man.
I know what it feels like sitting on lockdown.
Oh, bro, I happen to be at my shop, but it's still like I can. The thing said you can go somewhere if emergency. So I got this check-in app where you got to literally they send you a thing, you got to hit check-in, and you got like within 30 minutes to check in to see where your first GPS unit. They're gonna match that to where you're at and everything. So you're supposed to be where you said you're gonna be at and everything. So it's all good. So what I did is I went to the middle of my lot, not like in.
Checked in.
I went to the middle of the fucking lot, so that way that dot will be in that fucking circumference. In my shop, I'm in a podcast studio and all that stuff, because my podcast studio is about 30 feet from my shop, which I don't know if that dot's gonna move, too far and shit. So it's all good. But hey, man, again, thanks for the time, man. We'll definitely always got more to talk about. Guys, again, this is just a second closeout. So just go ahead and check.
Y'all know how we do.
Yeah.
Do it by
we
now.
still because we still in the regular running, so we ain't really go over. We just like
you can still see daylight.
Yeah, it's still at That's my monitor. That shit ain't dark yet, so we quick, man. So, but yeah, man, check out the event. Go and get Discovery Plus. Already get ahead of the game, because you don't want to get some shit where it's a new one coming out, so the service might get backed up and stuff like that. So go and get Discovery Plus, like I will, so I can see it earlier. If not, I guess July 19th is when it's airing.
Will be on television.
So we'll get that and everything. So again, make sure you go ahead and check out KOE Family, Lex's channel and everything. So you got the one event that we talked about.
Since I promoted the YouTube.
Yeah. And then of course, Lex _ King _ 24 at Butchcom. And the funny thing about that, I didn't take a picture, but I flew out of Texas at gate 24. That was pretty cool, man. So
them even numbers, man.
Yeah. All good. But hey, man, again, thanks again, guys. There, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this quarantine shit. Do what you gotta do, or your COVID stuff. Just don't be the guy that spreads this shit around, man. Even though you be like, I'm gonna do this and do that, and I'm like, nah, actually, man, I don't want to get popped for being where I'm not supposed to be at, and I got a whole.
Dude, there thousands a day now.
Yeah, that in the Olympics they're tightening up for, and also, man, they pretty much saying
there's no more no spectators at Olympics now.
Yeah. What they're saying is they if you violate that shit, you would definitely probably not fly for a long time. Yeah,
and they'll make it happen.
Yeah, and they talking about fines and all types of shit. So again, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to. Again, I'm losing a little bit of cash, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, because if one of these customers come to here and they magically get it, and then they say who are you around, and then my name pops up, and now I got fucking health inspectors and shit coming to my shop and all types of shit, man. So we'll hold off. Your car ain't that important. If you got to go somewhere else, go somewhere else. Keep it real, man. Like I tell you, these don't work for you. You know what I mean? I'm providing service, but I don't work for you. So I had one cat was like, well, I hope that doesn't mean, I'm going to get my car in October. I was like, if it does, it does, but it's not, just relax and wait till I get to you. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is and that stuff, man. So I'm going to get to it. Again, guys, there, be sure to like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Check out Lex, check me out and everything. So we're going to get out of here, man. It's going to be Pinku style. Down Jack sign off from Masao, Japan. Lex in Richmond, California. See you guys later. Peace.
Peace.